Hey guys, welcome back to the Race Survival Series. This is week 4 and game number 2. In game 1, which is already uploaded here, if you haven't checked out yet, we had BarrackS against Yabsab. BarrackS was able to take Yabsab down with a really cool remade version of a more recent mech switch. Game didn't last all that long, so we didn't get to see the full mech switch, but very, very cool, and I'm hoping to see more of that out of BarrackS. I'd love to be able to try that build out myself, to be honest. But BarrackS, once again, put a win on the board for Team Terran, and here we are on Fighting Spirit with BarrackS in the top left, and his opponent in the bottom left is going to be Mighty. Mighty, just such a powerful Protoss. I really think this guy is one of the big futures of the race. I have no doubt in my mind that in the next couple of years he's going to be up at the top of the ranks of Protoss, and honestly he's almost there already in my opinion. He's really looking strong, so excited to see what he's going to bring to the table here. Now before we really get started, guys, I do want to thank everyone for watching and subscribing to ArtosisCasts. But did you know that only 52% of people who watch videos are subscribed? I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Please go ahead, click that subscribe button, click the notification bell. We have been going for over a year already on the ArtosisCasts channel, and I haven't missed a day. Every single day, a new pro game uploaded with commentary. So thank you for your support, and yeah, please subscribe. All right, so we are on Fighting Spirit. As I mentioned, it looks like we're going to have a gasless expansion here. Just a quick BarrackS command center from BarrackS. He is sending out that scout SCV, but going in the wrong direction. So it's going to be a little bit later when he finds Mighty. Mighty, though, very late on his scout. So this probe not very likely, even if it goes to the north, which I'm guessing that it will. But again, very unlikely to harass as much as you generally like with that probe. You know, if you scout very quickly with your probe against the gasless expansion, Terran has to actually alter the build quite a bit. Here, we'll actually get the command center started very, very quickly. And he actually placed the BarrackS wrong, which is kind of hilarious. People don't play this map as much right now, even though it's in the ladder. So, yeah, it's in some tournaments and everything still. So you still see some, but just placing that a little bit off, not a big deal. Throws down this depot, a perfect wall here. As you can see, that's Zealot tight. This is Marine. Only Marines can get through between these two. So Zealots would have a very hard time pushing in, but no Zealot even on the way. It's just a Dragoon with range. So he'll definitely put some pressure on with that, but honestly, there is nothing to worry about here for BarrackS. This is like kind of the best case scenario for him, is that his opponent skipped the Zealot, went into you know, a later scout skipping the Zealot and went into Dragoons, and probably will expand from there. Now, this SCV is sitting on the ramp, so in case the Dragoon is just rallied and he's not looking, then, you know, that's something that would kind of work out. It would make it block there for a moment. The Dragoon attacks immediately, so the SCV does have to get out of here, and of course, he saw the timing of it, so based on the timing, he also knows that it was ranged before Dragoon, since the Dragoon popped out like 9 seconds late or something. So, yeah, the Dragoon going up across the map. Ooh, another SCV slides by right before the Dragoon gets there for that second scout. He's going to get a confirmation on what's going on, whether it's a cheese in the main base or it is a Nexus. So he's going to be coming down here very quickly. Here goes this Dragoon. Oh, he sees the SCV go, but can he block the ramp? No, he cannot. So he's going to get right up and get that full scout. Look at that beautiful blocking on the probe. Slows him down quite a bit, getting a lot of extra damage. But he's going to be able to see all 3 pylons. So he saw all 3 pylons. He saw, you know, range still making, and he saw the Nexus. So he knows he doesn't even need a missile turret. And from here, he'll definitely go second factory. There it is. So an excellent opener here for BarrackS. Mighty, you know, he's not dead. It's not like you look at this position and say, wow, I just can't win. Not by any means, but certainly you have to look at this and say this is like the best case scenario for BarrackS. And now we're going to see like how he likes to play it from here. You know, you get the 2 factories very, very often with this opener so that you can put some counter pressure on if need be. You have a lot of extra money too because you're mining so quickly. You can see his SCV count above that probe count right now, which is Exactly where you want to be. 3 Dragoons pelting this bunker, but we do have a siege tank on the way. He's getting siege mode as well, just to be extra careful. And look at this from Mighty. I just got chills. So he's going 3-gate observer from this, okay? Now, 3-gate observer is not greedy. It's not aggressive. What it is, I would almost label it as confident, right? You're in this position where you look at it and you say, okay, Terran has a little bit of an edge. So a lot of Protoss will do something a little bit more risky, like maybe they'll go up into a DT, or they'll go into, you know, the Reaver drop really quickly while taking 3 bases and say, okay, I can kind of hold on and maybe do some counter harassment, maybe stop a push. You know, maybe it'll come down to micro, that type of thing. But here, going to 3-gate observer, that's like safety. He's going to be fine if BarrackS pushes out. And in fact, he might be able to just stomp the units and get an advantage. Like, BarrackS, with the 2 factories, like, look, he's going up to 5 tanks right now. Oh, he canceled one. Okay, he restarted it. But yeah, he's going to 5 tanks, so it looks like he wants to push. We'll see if he makes another Marine as well. I would not be surprised if we see another Marine pop out. But if he tries to go across the map and we have non-stop Dragoons being made, which is what this looks like right now, right? We have 3 more coming out right here. We have 5 right there. Observer getting ready for his 3rd Nexus, but not too quickly, not too slowly. Mighty just looking to have enough units that he's not going to die. And I really do like this play. Now, his Observer flies in, and BarrackS says, okay, let's go. He's getting his Vulture upgrades. He does have another tank coming. Sieges, and then checks with the Marines if the Dragoons are right here. But the Dragoons are actually just a bit further back. And this is 8 goons. So if all of these fire upon 1 siege tank, it dies. So 8 Dragoons and up, siege tanks become very brittle. All right, see, the SCV led the way there. So that was a very smart move from BarrackS, sending the SCV. And this amount of Dragoons will stomp this push. So BarrackS needs to figure this out. Okay, he's unsieging. It looks like he wants to go. This is... Oh, he turns around. Look at the plays from these 2 players. Oh, my God. So 1 tank already picked off the Vultures, blocking the path, and the tanks will get back. Dude, seriously. And look, it's 38 workers to 47. So there was some SCV cutting going on, trying to maximize getting out as many units as possible. He adds the 3rd fact. He's going to add the 4th fact as well, I think. That's a pretty common follow-up, is to go into 4 factory. No, missile turret. Okay, that's fine as well. But this is just a cool game. And look at this. Yeah, I mean, these 2 are so strong. And again, a lot of these players that I classify as like up and coming, they're players that haven't won stuff yet, but you can see by their play that, like, honestly, these 2 are better than a lot of the big names from their races right now. A lot of those big names that you think of all the time and you've seen and heard of for years and years and years and years. I mean, they're still really good. They're still top-end pros, but these guys really are a big part of the future. Like, the decision-making on both sides, Mighty is playing very confidently in a very strong, straightforward Macroom. Look at this. Like, BarrackS had a faster expansion, made a lot of units, and now Mighty is up 13 probes, and he's up 35 supply. Okay? And that's without risks. No risks from him. And honestly, there's not really risks that we saw from BarrackS. Just, he went down one path that's very, very common, and it kind of got countered, but he salvaged the situation without a problem, right? Like, he's not in trouble right now. He's fine. He's gone up to 4 factories, does have that +1 spinning, Academy on the way. We see a hidden starport over here. The reason why he has this over here is because there's good observer spreads, right? He's laying a few mines. He's just kind of watching paths. I wouldn't be surprised if he lays like a mine over in this area as well. But this is a smart way to do it because you can't get the observer out of your base. I've seen a lot of people in the past comment on this match where they're like, well, there was an observer in your base. You actually can't get rid of it. Like, once you get scan up, if you have like 3 to 4 Marines or you have multiple Goliaths and you can go stand underneath the observer and scan, you'll kill it. But they generally won't allow that to occur. At this level, oftentimes they'll just see your units moving and they'll just move the observer. You can build turrets and try to catch it, but obviously it runs in the other direction. So, yeah, it's hard to get rid of. So if you want to do something like a drop to try to gain a little edge, this is a great way to try to do it. Now we see the science facility being made out here. This is a move I've seen before as well, where you're trying to make them think that this is going to be all in, but actually you're just going to continue your upgrades. So you might get your opponent to overmake units in this position rather than expand more. If they know that you're going for like 2-1, they can make more nexuses. Whereas look at here, right? He's adding gateways. He's playing safe. He's getting these shuttles out. And he just wants to make sure that he can't get run over. So this is truly an awesome game that we're seeing right now. Mighty patrolling the center still. We have just under a group of Dragoons here. We have an observer with 10. And generally, actually, here's a fun fact for you. You don't want to walk around with 12 Dragoons or even like 11 a lot of the time, even though that fits with the observer in one control group, because they actually bump into each other a little bit too much. Oh, he catches the dropship. But yeah, what I was mentioning there is I've heard like 8 to 10 goons are what a lot of pros like to walk around with. Anyways, he catches the dropship, so the dropship doesn't end up working. And now you see this gigantic supply advantage. Almost 60 supply up here for Mighty. But BarrackS, again, not dead. He's going to move out into position here. I don't think he'll really come across. Like, it's okay to push him back a little bit, but I think he's going to have to utilize this bridge area defensively because Mighty is getting very big on the macro. But don't forget, Mighty only has 3 bases mining right now. He's got a very healthy probe count, yes, but not a huge bank or anything. Now, here comes the speed shuttle in. Oh, this is kind of weird. Like, we don't have speed yet on these Zealots. Okay, he just pokes for a moment and turns around. Picks off a tank or two, does a bunch of damage to one. Now he's going to utilize this Reaver to try to slow the push a bit. That 4th Nexus is coming up. It is a very close by Nexus, but he's throwing down the photon cannons, which really slow, and he pushes up into it. Speed shuttle looks like it's going around maybe towards this 3rd base location. We don't actually see another command center yet. We do have +2 on the way. Up at 6 facts. And I mean, I think with 6 facts, if you just rally to like this area, you can kind of hold on to this area. Because this is like very choked. Your opponent can send an army up here and try to hit from 2 flanks. But is he actually going to go for a move like that? I'm not entirely sure. A really big army being fielded, but we don't actually see a 3rd command center yet. Which I'm finding actually a little bit interesting. Like, I mean, this might just be the play that he wants to go for, which is just mass up on, like, 6 facts. Normally you go up to 7 in a situation like this and then go, but okay, here we go. Mighty gonna run in, and High Templar's coming out. Storm's not being cast. There we go. Finally a good storm going down. Those Zealots getting on top of these siege tanks. It seems like Mighty is taking an advantage here for sure. The Zealots run in, get on top of absolutely everything. The tanks targeting down Dragoons as much as is possible. And it looks like that's going to be a wipe almost completely on both sides of both armies. Generally, you'll consider something like that to be slightly better for Protoss because they killed so many siege tanks. But honestly, look at this. He's getting all these vultures in the main base. There's High Templars here that he might be able to pick off. He's killing off some probes as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling like BarrackS is dead by any means. Being able to kill this many probes, and don't forget, there was no real bank. That attack he did, he got a lot of supply and everything. Yeah, he killed a lot of siege tanks. But let's put it this way. If he was on 5 base and he did that, I would be calling this basically a victory for Mighty right now. But as is, look, their worker count is very similar. Their supply count is quite similar as well. Now, the siege tank count did get reduced, so that's kind of the main thing. And he doesn't have a ton of factories, right? 6 factories? This is going to sound stupid, guys, but 6 factories is not 8 factories, okay? There's certainly a difference there. Taking a look at the gateway count, you can see quite a few more gateways. So he's got, like, what, 12 gates or so. So he's definitely going to produce army faster here, and you can see his supply starting to pull ahead because of that. But it's not big enough to just pounce upon this, right? Again, if he had like 5 bases, maybe he has 20 gates here and he can just do 3 rounds and run this over. But as is, He's throwing down some turrets. He's making these great big minefields, slowing him down, and this is going to be one of the quickest clears of one of these high ground bases I've ever seen. BarrackS pounding into it, destroying it all the way, and wow, I tell you, this is... Ooh, that was an excellent sell-out bomb right there. Losing a couple of his siege tanks, almost losing the third there as well. And here's the third command center. So finally has that up. There is a reaver up here, which is highly annoying to deal with. You have to send quite a few units up to deal with that. Or you have to like kind of sneak up on it and siege and blow it up without the shuttle realizing. But Mighty is a pretty fast player, as you can see. He's actually one of the highest APM Protoss players out there. So I have a feeling he'll see it. Now, a 50 supply advantage. It is getting significant once again for Mighty. Lots of High Templars being added in, continuing those upgrades as well. Let's take a look. Just +2 attack so far. We have +2 here as well. He does have that second armory. And here we go. Looks like he does want to attack in once again. Some High Templars going to be coming out. Let's see how these storms can do. The siege tanks being pulled and spread up here. They weren't in a good position to start, unfortunately. Storm's right on top of himself. Double storm, killing off so many siege tanks there. Beautiful plays, and as Mighty infiltrates, I think that's going to be it. A very nice game, I think, really well played by both sides, but Mighty continuing to show just how promising he is right now. And yeah, honestly, like, this is no longer looking very good for for poor BarrackS. Right? Like, you've lost all your siege tanks twice. The SCV count's getting very low. The third base hasn't been mined from yet. So there's just not anything going on for him. He's got, like, 0 bank as well. So even though he's trying to send SCVs up to mine from this location, he still has a decent amount of siege tanks. How do you defend here and here? It's just the army size is not big enough. He's still down 50 supply. Vulture's trying to make something happen up here, but that's not looking too likely either. Mighty continuing to rally up, as we can see, right into that natural. And there's not going to be any units left over here. I have a feeling we'll be seeing GG just momentarily as his defense falls at least one position. All the tanks coming over here. He'll hold the third. But the natural is going to start to fall. Waiting for units to pop out to try to defend. Laying some mines as he can. But it does not seem as if it's going to be enough. Which means that we are going to see a win put on the board here from Team Protoss. They've had some rough times in the last couple weeks, I do believe. So, nice to see. And Mighty leading that charge. Yeah, we should be seeing that GG any second now. Right? I mean, everything is blowing up. 20 SCVs, 19. He's got 45 supply. Fairly certain 2 siege tanks and a Wraith won't hold this base at 20 minutes into the game. All right. And no, it turns out that the Wraith and the 2 siege tanks did not. GG! Mighty wins the second game of this week.